You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly.
Good, how you doing?
Welcome to the Village of Wappers Falls monthly regular meeting of the Mayor and the Board of Trustees. Today is Wednesday, September 13th. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Have to make sure my chair's there before I sit back. Rolls back.
All right. For special announcements, I want to thank everybody that came out for the 9/11 event. The officers, commissioner, and residents. Trustee Tolchek, Trustee Niznik, and Trustee Williams, I did see there, and Clerk Cards. Thank you.
Your Honor, I'd also like to thank the American Legion for their assistance, Reverend Duncan Nickel, and the Boy Scouts of Troop 40.
Yep, thank you.
Okay, roll call. Mayor Huber,
Present.
Trustee Nicholas,
Here.
Trustee Tillishek,
Here.
Trustee Nesnick,
Here.
Trustee Williams,
Here.
Trustee Ruffin,
Here.
Trustee Smith,
Here.
Village Attorney Lindars.
Here.
Action on minutes, special village board meeting, 8/3/23.
Get a motion?
I'll make that motion.
There's a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Regular village board meeting, August 9th.
Get a motion?
I'll make that motion.
There's a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Second monthly village board meeting, August 30th.
Get a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Second?
I'll second.
John. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Authorization to pay bills as per approved warrants.
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Who was that?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Tonight, we discussed in other meetings, security in the homestead building itself. And we also talked about putting cameras on the outside of the building aimed in different directions around the park. I met with Mr. Fuentes this week from Doyle Security, along with Beth Doyle and Bill Stickle. We spent quite a bit of time over there looking at everything, and I invited Daniel here from Doyle Security to give a presentation, and it's also in your packet here if you wanted to follow along and look at the numbers. Just before he gets involved with it too much here tonight, I did point out that I wanted a basic security system. He put some different alternatives together that you can look at, but I wanted for now a basic system that could do pretty much what we really want over there. We had, and we still have, StarTech Security doing it, but all they do is monitor. They don't come around when something breaks down. All they do is monitor, and if something, the old equipment, something goes off, they'll call me or somebody, and we really need somebody there that's going to not only monitor, but they're going to be there when we need them to fix something. The fixtures, I know, are over 20 years old, and some don't even work. We have a lot of valuable artifacts in that building that we need to protect. That's that part of it. He'll speak about that in a minute. The second part of it is the cameras. We have vagrants. We have people living on the gazebo, moving benches around. Yep. There's vandalism. There's a lot going on over there, so the cameras will really be beneficial, I think, as well, aimed in all four directions. So, Daniel, come on up.
I just want to say, John, that both Beth and Bill sent me a message saying they regret they couldn't be here tonight. They had other commitments, but I think they're looking forward to a new security system.
Oh, good. Yeah, they're very concerned with it.
Well, thank you everybody for having me tonight. Really appreciate it. Like John said, we did a pretty thorough walkthrough. I looked at all the devices, different ways to get wires, different places. So I think I looked over it, very thoroughly. So what I put together here, if you look at I don't know if you're going to follow along, but the page that says intrusion fire alarm, the current system you have, it does have both. But I gave you a few options here. So I just want to run through it quickly to just so you understand everything. And I used to be a service technician, so if I get a little too technical, stop me. Feel free to ask any questions. I'm happy to answer in the middle or at the end. So the first option, we can use the existing control panel and put our own network cellular communicator onto that panel. The only challenge with that is the existing alarm panel has a programming code that is locked out, and unless StarTech would unlock it, he would have to physically come there to do that. We wouldn't be able to make any programming changes, code changes. So I did put that as option one, where you see add network cellular communicating to the existing panel. I would highly recommend to go with option two if you decide to move forward, but I did want to include that in there just so you could make the decision. So the option one purchase price is obviously right underneath the second paragraph here, and the monthly monitoring fee would be $37.99. We typically bill quarterly. That can be adjusted as you like, annually, biannually. I also included the option for a service agreement, which would cover any parts, labor, replacement of any parts. For option one, it would only cover the cellular communicator because all the parts wouldn't be ours. Let's see. I also gave an annual inspection option. I think it's code that you have to have a fire alarm inspected annually in a commercial building like that. Keep in mind, if you read the service agreement does cover one annual inspection as well. That's why the cost is significantly more. And the Doyle Advantage, that is actually, we offer a payment option where you can spread the payment out over a 5-year period, and it also includes the inspection and the service agreement. I went through that pretty quickly, but is there any questions on option 1 as far as what it covers and what we would be including on option 1?
So the only question I have is, if we go with option 1 and then decide to go with option 2 a year from now, is that any big deal?
No, not a big deal. We can definitely do that. It's just you would make that initial investment and then have to make the second investment. My opinion, I think if you do option 1, it will communicate. If something needs to be replaced or if there needs to be a change made, you would have to go with option 2 at that time. So I wanted to show you what it would be, but I'm going to review option 2 and I'll let you know exactly what we would do here. This would upgrade the main control panel. We would upgrade it with a UL commercial rated fire intrusion combination panel. Let's see, we would replace all the devices that are listed underneath. You would have new keypads. We would remount and relocate the devices listed, I believe, in the 1742 house in the rear building. There was some renovations done, so we would have to remount some devices back there. Do you want me to run through? I mean, if they're all listed here, I'm happy to run through all the devices if you prefer.
I think we got it.
No, that's fine. I just wanted to point out that a lot of those devices are over 20 years old and some don't even work.
Typically, we recommend after 10 years, a smoke detector get replaced and a heat detector. They typically have a 10-year lifespan.
Right.
I don't know if there's a code that says you have to replace them, but we all know everything over time, whether it's going to false alarm or not work when we need it to. Yep. That would be my concern with leaving the old ones. So then the option 2 purchase price is listed underneath. Again, with the monitoring, I would leave the monitoring regardless of which option you take out. We would monitor it for the same amount. We're monitoring the same equipment, and it's going to be cellular and network. And to be clear, we would use the network as the primary communication. And if the network goes out for any reason, power failure, you would still have the cellular as a communicator. So you would pretty much never be down. Worst case scenario, unless they're working on a cell tower, which is very rare. Same idea underneath. There's the service agreement, which also includes an annual inspection. If you didn't want to accept the service agreement, you can always take an annual inspection in lieu of the service agreement. And then again, there's the Doyle Advantage program, which I always find beneficial. It's way less initially out of pocket, and it allows you to spread the payment out over a 5-year period. And if you look underneath the total monthly fees, it includes, that monthly fee includes the monitoring, the network and cellular monitoring, the service agreement, and the inspection agreement as well. And that's pretty much what I came up with as far as the intrusion and fire. If there's any questions? Yep.
Yeah, if I may. Couple of things. One, so it is primarily a wired system, but cellular is backup.
So it would be hardwired to the internet. The router is right next to where we would put the panel, so we wouldn't need any Wi-Fi. It would be direct connection and as a primary communication, cellular as a backup. And the nice thing about the newer panel, if any wiring is found to be bad or not working, this panel is capable of doing wireless as well. All the smoke detectors, carbon monoxide detectors are all commercial UL rated.
Yeah, that was my second question. It's an old, I don't know how old it is, 1742. I mean, are you going to run wires through the back, or is it wireless? Or
So as far as intrusion and fire, we would reuse all the existing wiring, and anything that we add in the future, I don't think we proposed to add anything. It was just to replace all the existing devices. And if we do need to add anything or we find a wire bad, we can definitely replace it with wireless. That way we don't have to make holes or, snake the walls, because that would be a big challenge.
And just for clarity, service, the whole point here is they're not servicing it. Service means you guys will do like monthly remote checks on it. If something breaks, you'll come out and fix it.
Oh, absolutely. We have a relationship with the village already. I think we take care of this building. I think I personally worked in this building, actually. I think we have panic buttons around the entire building. And the fire alarm, I think we take care of as well.
So the service would include repair and service.
Correct.
I'm sure I'm understanding that correctly.
Yeah, so if you look under, whether it's option 1 or 2, it's option 1 service agreement or option 2 service agreement. That will, if that option is accepted, that's an additional monthly on top of the monitoring. But that will cover any service call. If you didn't decide to take the service agreement, we would definitely still come out and service anything. It would just be on a time and material basis, yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
I have a question.
Sure.
Take battery backup if they lose power out there.
Yeah, absolutely. It's minimum 24-hour backup in the panel, and that would keep the whole system up and running. And that's minimum 24 hours in alarm. Typically, it'll be longer than that. And that would keep the cellular communicator going as well, so that it would always transmit signals to my office. And the checks that we don't do a weekly check, but every day included in the monitoring, regardless if you take the service agreement or not, it does a daily, every 24 hours, it does a check-in. We make sure that it's communicating with my office. If it doesn't, we call you and tell you we'll be out to fix it.
Okay.
Good with that? Okay. And then quickly, the surveillance. I was trying to do this with 4 cameras, but it's not exactly a square building. We have some jog outs in the building. So, yeah. So to cover all bases, I think let me just see, how many did I say? I believe we did 6. I'm sorry. So let me start from the beginning here. So the NVR that we would install would be in the same room as the electrical panel and the security panel. That would also be connected to the internet. What we do is we monitor, and if the NVR loses network connection at all, we can email. We ask for an email, and we would email. Automated email would be sent out if network is lost at all, and then you could say, either we know the power went out temporarily, that's why we lost internet, or you give us a call and we come and see what's going on, whether it's the NVR or the network itself. And I proposed a 16-channel NVR. I know we're only putting 6 cameras. It's because of the megapixels on the cameras. We need that to keep up with the speed of the cameras and the quality of the cameras. We needed a little bit of an oversized NVR. So I'm proposing here on the second page, I have 4 megapixel HD cameras. Those would be placed to a general view of the entire perimeter of the building. And then I would put 2 more 4 megapixel bullet style cameras. Like John said, one of the concerns was maybe the gazebo, people sleeping in there or vandalizing. I would put a motorized camera, which would allow us to zoom in and get a much better view across the parking lot. And we would be able to zoom in and out as needed to get the perfect picture of that area. And also the entrance. on Spring Street, I believe. We found a nice spot in between two trees that we can see the entrance, anybody coming and going. And I would put the same style camera that we can really zoom in and get a good shot of that entrance. They're all equipped with night vision and IR illuminator, sees a minimum of 30 meters on the dome style cameras, and the bullet style cameras, I believe, are 130 feet. So it'll get a nice shot whether it's day or night. We would include a 21-inch monitor so that we can go back on recordings, and also a battery backup power supply, which would hold the cameras and the NVR working, just like the alarm system. And this is where it's going to be challenging to run wires. I think I found a nice in the basement. We can definitely run wires. It's wide open, and keep the wires nice and hidden.
This is very important that we met with Bill Stickle and Beth on that, because they're very particular about, viewing the building. They don't want wires draped around the porch and all of that. So we were able to find a spot where we could hide the wire behind some molding, get it into a basement window kind of thing. So
Yeah, exactly. And okay, so then on the bottom of the page, it does have the purchase price. The video health monitoring is what we would use to send that email out. That's the option 1 video health monitoring. And CCT quality assurance, that's our service agreement for camera systems. That's just what we call it. So if you notice the option 2 CCT quality assurance, that's an option. Obviously, we'll still come out and service any equipment that's not functioning. But if the CCT quality assurance is accepted, we would come out, replace anything or fix anything at no cost with the CCT quality assurance. And again, the Doyle Advantage program that we offer, it allows you to spend a lot less on the installation and spread it out over time on a monthly. That Doyle Advantage, it includes the video health monitoring and the service agreement, the CCT quality assurance. So sorry, do you need a copy?
In your packet.
No, it's okay. Well,
I can leave you with one and let everybody know. Okay. But that's, I think I missed anything. That's pretty much what I came up with when we walked around. I think it's a really good package. So if you guys have any questions at all, I'm happy to answer.
One question. Is it can it stream live, or is it a recording system?
Oh, so it does both.
It does both.
Yeah, you can either look at the video, any of the cameras live locally on that monitor. If we can offer an app for a desktop or a phone.
So it conceivably could be streamed to the police station or something like that.
Absolutely.
Is that what you're looking to do? That was going to be my question. Are we looking to monitor this from the police department and use the Pan-Tilt Zoom from the police department, or is this something that you monitor at your office and then call us if something's going on?
So we monitor the security. We don't monitor the cameras. So we can absolutely set it up. Every scenario is a little different, but I'd be happy to set it up in the police station if that's something you guys were interested in doing. We can have it on a desktop and have it streaming live all the time. That's definitely an option. It shows you any motion. Typically, we set it up for motion recording, but we can set it up for 24-hour recording. It just saves a little hard drive if we do the motion recording.
I'll speak to the board about it.
Yeah, and there would be no extra cost to do that. We're happy to add it on any monitor or any phone that you guys give us authority to do that to.
I have a question. And so where would that hard drive you just talked about, where would that be located? Is that at your office, or would we have?
No, that lives in the NVR,
Okay.
which would be next to the security panel in the building itself in Messier Homestead.
So would that need to be sort of deleted over time as it fills up, or?
No, well, we usually set, there are two ways to program it. We could either program it to hold all the recording and then stop, but what we typically do, what I would recommend, is it just rewrites itself.
Yeah.
And it has a minimum of 2 to 3 weeks, depending on how much motion. So typically in a week or so, you're going to know if something happened, if you have to review any footage.
How sensitive is the motion detector? I mean, does it catch mice and rats, or does it need to be?
No, typically it would see a deer. It would, if a spider climbed across the lens, it would trigger the motion because it's just a basic motion, but it's definitely helpful to have the motion instead of just 24 hours in my opinion.
Okay. Thank you, Daniel.
Oh, thank you guys. Really appreciate the time.
Let's give me some time with the board. I'll try to schedule some kind of a meeting at either the end of this month or the beginning of next month, but we really do need to get a security system over there as soon as possible for the interior of the building.
Yeah, and this is really just a proposal. If you guys think of anything after the fact, I'm happy to adjust, answer any more questions. If you guys talk after I leave, and you have my cards, if you have any questions at all, I'm happy to answer them.
Thank you, Daniel.
Thank you. Have a great night.
You too. All right.
Okay, we've got some resolutions. Now, the resolutions are also, the full resolutions are in here, and you've all had them in advance in email. So the first one, resolution number 5123 of 2023, is a resolution introducing a local law, which will be local law number 2, the year of 2023, creating a new chapter in the called Village Constables. Can I have a motion?
Make that motion.
Who was that? Trustee Williams.
There's a second?
Second?
Jen?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. I put in a legal notice there, I guess, attorney, so that tonight they can pick a date for the hearing.
So the resolution for the constable local law is a resolution introducing the local law and setting a public hearing. Public hearing date should be not the next meeting, but the following meeting after that, whatever date that is.
The first meeting in the month of October.
Be the 11th, October 11th.
Yep.
Okay, I'll get that in the paper. That'll be at 7 p.m. Okay, and I also put a copy of the local law in there. So you have it. Okay, next is a resolution number 40.
1 second on that local law. The copies of the local law are going to be available for review and inspection at the office of the village clerk. Weekdays, 8:30 to 4 p.m. at Village Hall as well. Just so the public knows that they can come and inspect the local law.
Put that in the paper too?
It's in the notice. It's in the notice that'll be published.
Oh, it will, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Same notice that's noticing the public hearing.
So can I have a motion for me to establish a hearing on the 11th day of October 23 for local law 2?
The motion's not unnecessary because it was in the resolution itself. So the resolution itself
okay.
introduced the local law and set the
That's
public
right. Okay, all right. I didn't know what to do with the next resolution. It's the one we've had on all along. It states 3 names in there. Is that resolution 4023 still valid? We tabled it like 3 months ago.
Page 7.
It stated the hourly rate and the 3 names of the individuals.
I'm just trying to find it in my bag here.
You say it was 4023?
Page 8. No,
Page 8?
Page 6.
46?
And your
Oh, that thing. Oh.
page 6 on the agenda.
Page 6 on the agenda.
So this was submitted by Labor Council. When she submitted this resolution, did she indicate?
They tabled this resolution,
I think
waiting for the local law.
Yeah.
So I think this resolution will probably be after the local law is
That
adopted.
would make sense. That's why I'm asking if she
Yeah.
gave you any direction when she sent the resolution. Or is this resolution just been carried over?
She did not.
And I would table this until we have the actual resolution,
Okay.
or the local law passed,
All
before we
right.
start hiring under a local law that doesn't exist.
All right, I'll table that to some time in October. The next one is resolution number 4923 of 2023, a resolution authorizing modification and extension agreement with Royal Karting Service Company. Can I have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Mike?
Yeah, Mike. And I abstain because I work there.
Yep.
So I'm abstaining because I'm employed by the company. So I will not be part of that vote.
Opposed? Carried. Resolution 5023, 2023, resolution authorizing the acceptance and change in security posted to guarantee the cost of outstanding improvements to 1554, 1564 Route 9, Village of Wappingers Falls. Can I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Mike. Is there a second?
Second.
Jen? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 5223, 2023, accepting resignation of employee. The following resolution, can I have a motion to accept the resignation of Lieutenant Carl Calabrese effective September 11th, today?
I'll make that motion.
Second?
I'll second.
James? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Carried. Is there anyone here for the grease traps tonight? And what company do you represent?
So I own a pie business called Braised Pies. I believe my engineer should be here, but I'm not sure. Do you know Elmi Barisha?
Yeah.
He is my landlord, and I'm fairly certain my engineer has sent you an email. But if not, then I'm just wasting everyone's time, unfortunately.
Okay, typically the way this works is I get a letter from an engineer
Yep.
before the meeting, or if the engineer is here, he can give me a letter.
Yeah. To be honest, he should have done one of the two, and I'm stuck.
Well, then we'll table this. It doesn't look like the other company isn't here either, day and night. So we'll wait for yours, but we can't do anything with day and night.
No.
Right.
Okay. There's some housekeeping there, 2 bullets underneath that we do monthly. Can I have a motion to accept those housekeeping moving accounts for the village treasurer?
I'll make that motion.
For a second?
I'll second.
Mike? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Attorney Youngworth was going to be here tonight, so we'll table the cruisy.
Yeah, I think she wanted to do that to the 27th, the end of the workshop meeting.
Okay,
I saw that in the email.
I didn't see that. Oh, but good, okay.
She did request that be tabled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
The other thing is trustee Williams is pursuing a local law to accept the village code in the process. And I guess the process, as I know it, is the village attorney should receive some direction from the legislative committee directing on what that local law should look like. So has the legislative committee met?
We were just talking about having our meeting prior to this board meeting. So are we all able to make that meeting? And
how will we contact Attorney Linders? What would you prefer? Because all we need to do, I believe, Trustee Williams, you were running some test cases against the current zoning code, yeah? You were looking at comparing some property or some builds to the zoning code?
No, we discussed that the attorneys will be looking at the code, in email chain.
Right.
The attorneys will be looking at that, and that I wouldn't be doing test cases on that, and that they would establish what they needed to know about the new zoning code.
Well, then we gotta set up a public hearing.
When's the legislative meeting on this? Do we have a date on that? Because I can attend that meeting and we can discuss the process as to how it should go forward, and I can prepare the resolution, I can introduce, and we could proceed with formally introducing and setting the public hearing for the local law.
I mean, as soon as possible. I would honestly make it,
I mean, we don't have to schedule it right now. You can circulate a time where we can figure out where we can meet.
I would appreciate getting it done as soon as possible. If everybody is amenable, my legislative team, Joe and John, if you're available next Thursday, let's publicize it for the 21st and hammer this out.
So who's on this legislative?
Myself, John Filacek,
Joe Nichols.
and John Nichols.
Okay.
What time?
Well, I know you're only available in the afternoon,
I-
unfortunately, so.
Well, if you want to make that, how, do we expect this to be a long meeting?
Yeah, because there's a lot to discuss.
Okay, so yeah, evening would be better.
All right, so maybe we're having also a police committee meeting,
What is the date on it?
the 21st.
Is this a formal committee? If it's a
Yes,
formal committee,
formal committee.
then these meetings should be noticed. They should be.
So we have 7 days
That's
notice.
that's what we're gonna do. That's why we're setting her up.
Could we do it next Wednesday? Nick?
Yeah, we could.
So next Thursday, the 21st?
Could we do Wednesday the 20th? We're wondering.
Wednesday, James or Joe?
Yeah, I'm fine
All right.
with with Wednesday.
Wednesday,
Wednesday, 20th,
6
No,
o'clock?
Wednesday.
Wednesday's the 20th.
20th, sorry.
6 o'clock?
6
Perfect.
works.
We'll be meeting here
All right.
at the hall.
Wednesday, September 20th, 6
John, we need
o'clock.
that publicized, okay? You're gonna have to get that in the paper.
Have to put that in the paper?
You have to notice that.
Well, you would notice it like you would notice any other special meeting or any committee meeting would have to be published. So
They do like 10 committee meetings a month.
well, if they're public meetings, they have to be noticed, and if they're having.
Well, we do,
Are they noticed on the websites? Are
Websites,
they,
yeah.
and you have posting places for them?
what we do is after the reorganizational meeting, we send it to the newspaper.
Okay, so they've been noticed and published
Yes,
pursuant to the reorg.
yes,
Okay,
I do that.
so
For these meetings plus all the committee meetings.
So these are
That's why I
special.
hit all of those
so
meetings.
these need to be noticed as a special meeting because it's a meeting in addition to, and we can discuss the process.
Okay, all right.
We can discuss that process.
Okay, monthly updates, police.
All right, so one thing that myself, Paul, Trustee Williams had looked at was the T2 handheld systems. So John Holland had reached out, and our commissioner today had just sent me a notice to answer Mr. Holland about, again, the T2 handheld system. It's a ticketing system. It does basically, instead of like chalking tires, it takes a digital image, and it can also be used to write all kinds of other tickets. And this is going to be very crucial for our constables to have at least one of these in the police department rather than pen and paper and ticket books. It uploads up to 12 images of a violation on the system itself. I believe you can upload those on the internet. You can make them one of these pictures available on the actual ticket itself. It's a really cool system. It's like almost like a dollar bill type of paper. You can't tear it up, which is kind of neat. So, if somebody gets mad, they're going to have a hard time at tearing it up. It's kind of cool.
What is the board's feeling on the system? I know we don't have constables in place yet. What is the board's feeling on the system that I may answer John Holland, the vendor? Anybody? It's a good useful tool for our constables to have.
I think that in addition to all the features that are nice, it will allow the police to enforce the laws which are on the books, which currently we're having a hard time doing. In terms of chalking tires, time parking, this system will do all of that digitally. We'll come up, scan the VIN number, come back in 4 hours, that car's still there, zap it again, and the ticket will automatically generate. And so in addition to it being able to take pictures and all of that, the ability to enforce what current parking laws we have in place, I think is the biggest benefit of this system. And to keep a record of all of that that's integrated into our current record systems. So, in my opinion, that's the biggest part of this. That's the biggest benefit to this the T2 system, T2 handheld system.
So,
Do we have pricing on that?
yeah, we do. For the first year, it's approximately $9,600. So there's also an additional warranty that we can purchase. But right now, we don't have a constable to put this system in the hands of. I don't know that we want to.
When you say $9,600, does that pay for the handheld device? And I'm sure there's a monthly payment, or is there a cert fee, or?
There is a monthly payment fee. There's also an additional warranty on it. So again, it's a big purchase for the village. And I would strongly advise that we go after we actually have constables, that we strongly consider this device for the police department, and also the warranty on it. So if it gets dropped, broken, whatever happens to it, we can get another one. Not that we're, SOL sending our constables out with a ticket book now after using a great system. But as of right now, we probably all know that we don't have the best system in place for these parking tickets or time parking tickets. Is there anything you would like to add, Commissioner?
So the 9,000 and change that he's talking about, that's the first year's payment. It will go down after that. So that's the purchase of the equipment, the docking station, the software, all the stuff that goes with it. There's another component to this which is going to help pay it, which is they also have a collections side of this. So for the unpaid parking tickets, they will go out and do the collections for you, and you, not us, but the person who's getting the collections done to them actually pays for the collection portion of this. So that's of no cost to the village, and you'll recover the money of the people who just decide they're not going to pay their tickets. So that also helps to offset this cost as well.
So how long would that information say stay with them before they start collecting it? Is it a?
Well, we program this completely to the village walkers. Go ahead, no, go ahead.
I was going to say, Jeff, we could program it to 60 days, 90 days, 30 days, whatever we deem appropriate before it would go out to collection. So that gives us a time, depending on our court schedule, which that information can be transmitted to court if they don't show up for the dates of, between that period when they have their court date, and if they don't, it's not paid by then, they have their day in court. And then if they still don't show up, then it can go out to collections. We could set it up that way, but again, it's all we decide, basically.
We actually set all the parameters in this for the fines, everything. It's all customized to whatever the board chooses they want to do. Want to give somebody 60 days, 90 days, 180 days, whatever. We program it however we decide we want to do it. And as far as the collection side goes. And then the tickets get generated right into court, and the whole process, it's really seamless. So it does seem like a big chunk of money up front, and it is a big chunk of money up front, but that's the first year, and it's also going to be offset by these other costs, so the village is not really, at the end of the day, out of pocket the $9,600. So, and that's for one unit. And
do we have an immediate use for it, or do we want to wait for the constables?
I don't know how long it's going to take to get the system up and running. I mean, no, the constables can start by writing paper tickets. We don't have to order this today.
Right.
But it is definitely something worth looking into. And I can take a copy of the proposal and email it to everybody tomorrow so that you all see the same thing. It's on my computer. I'll just email
My only question would be, is it in the budget?
We don't have it budgeted in this budget because we didn't know about it, but I don't know what monies could be, that's up to the financial committee.
Right.
To
We'd have to
see what you can,
take this back and take a look at it.
I mean, maybe some things can be brought from the court or whatever, I don't know how you would go about paying that.
This system is absolutely amazing. Myself and Trustee Williams saw a presentation on it. It's a huge time saver for our constables. It will pay for itself in terms of tracking, in terms of automatically issuing fines or violations. It'll pay for itself, I'm sure, in the first year. I don't know.
No, it will pay for itself. He gave us some numbers, and, you know, I know we were talking parking kiosks, whether we're gonna do it or not, and it also integrates with that system. So the whole parking system could be under one basic unified umbrella, so. Did you want me to finish, or you want to go on with something else?
Well, the other thing that you'd recommended as far as police that translates over to legislative committee was school zone legislating West Main and Clinton Street as school zone enforcement areas, and maybe even a crosswalk enforcement due to St. Mary's School.
So, can I jump in quick?
Yeah.
So next week, I'm going to meet Paul in his office. We're going to go over a few things.
Okay.
And we'll be in contact with Senator Rob Rollison's office.
About this item.
And also Assemblywoman Dee Dee Barrett about a few of these ticket items.
It's a state road, so.
Yeah.
We can't actually just do it ourselves.
We have to get permission, and those two offices can really help us out in this situation, so.
There was one other pressing item on police that I wanted to bring up, but Attorney Linders had advised that this item be is not ready for this meeting because we need our Labor Council present and to review that. Is that correct? It should-
It should be discussed with Brooke before you make that motion.
Yeah. So.
Wait, I got one question related to this topic. Now, well, the constable's there and he scans in the VIN number through the windshield.
Well, he'd be scanning the registration sticker in the windshield.
Okay, registration sticker.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if that sticker is outdated, can he issue a ticket for that too?
Absolutely.
And if it's not inspected, if the inspection's expired, he can write for that too?
Absolutely. Everything's a drop-down menu, so he can write multiple tickets to the same car. So it's over time, the registration's suspended, and the inspection is suspended, he could put 3 tickets on the car.
Okay.
Yeah, as many violations as exist, he can keep printing tickets.
Well, that helps pay for it too, right? I mean,
absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
Absolutely. I mean, I encourage my people to use discretion too, not just hammer tickets. So there's a balancing act that takes place, and everything is situation driven, and it's up to them to use their discretion. But yes, to answer your question.
Thanks.
Just a couple of things that I wanted to bring up real quick. You have the packets in front of you. They're all, I'm not going to go through everything in there, but we are doing the school bus enforcement every morning. So that carries through the time that the children are waiting for the bus until the last bus leaves for school. It does incur an hour of overtime every day because it does fall on shift change, just like last school season. So I hold my midnight guy over till 9 o'clock in the morning, and he's out there and he's enforcing it, and he's been really successful with crosswalks and violations that put the kids in danger. So he's hitting both sides of the village. So sometimes people say, I didn't see him. It's because he's on the other side of the village working those bus stops, but he is hitting both sides, and he's been out there and he has been writing tickets. That being said, I put back together a 4-man traffic safety unit. So they're going to be concentrating on that, and this officer is one of those people assigned to that unit. So they do patrol, and when they're not patrolling, they're concentrating on traffic violations. And we did a crosswalk initiative where we actually did a targeted crosswalk enforcement with several police cars. Fortunately, we only got 3 hours in. It started to rain, but they wrote a significant number of tickets down there, and those will be ongoing throughout. I just wanted to bring your attention, because I found this number amazing myself. We got the new Ring phone system in the station. That phone system does all kinds of analysis on how many calls and things like that. And when they just had the system in for testing, we determined that in a 24-hour period, we average 400 calls come into the police department. Not emergency calls, but the phone rings 400 times with calls coming into the police department. We have one dispatcher on duty. So just to kind of give you an idea of the volume of calls that come in there. Again, some of them are for, officers or whatever, but they're not all emergency calls, obviously. But the dispatcher's picking up the phone 400 times in a 24-hour period. And last month, just for some stats, we had 313 calls that we answered, emergency calls that we answered. We had 21 arrests, and we just talked about St. Mary's being open. Myself and Sergeant Ludwig, the daytime sergeant, went up, met with the operations person and the principal. We went over the safety plans for the school and everything prior to them opening. I'm very confident they're going to do an excellent job up there. We established a good working relationship with them for a school in the village. At this time, it's pre-K for public school, and it's going to be K through 2 for Catholic school, and they're only using the one hallway. So they plan on doing some expansions. I sent an email. I spoke to the fire chief, and then I sent an email to the fire chief, and I spoke to them up there for him to go up and do his emergency plans, and he'll be doing that in the future, and I'll walk through with his firemen for that moment. So that's all I have.
Commissioner, I had a question. If you could just find out for us the length of time it takes to implement that program.
Which
from
program?
start to finish with the tickets.
T2.
You mean how long it takes to write a ticket?
No, just to
Installation.
from us making a decision to getting it together to having it active.
Oh, absolutely. I'll find that out tomorrow. I'll get back to you tomorrow.
Thank you.
One other question, if I may? For that system, that's for one unit. If you expand, is it another 9,600? What's the?
It is not. So there is a price on the unit. I'll include that with what I send you. I don't know it off the top of my head. There is a price for each unit, but it is not $9,600. That includes the software and the startup and all that stuff. So the actual handheld unit itself, maybe $2,000, $3,000, maybe it's even less. I don't know.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Finance, Trustee Nesnick.
Nothing at this time.
Highway, Trustee Smith.
Well, I don't have anything. Either.
Fire, Trustee Nicholas.
Yeah, they had one of their trucks in repair. The bucket leveling system wasn't working right, so they don't like dumping people out as they lift it up and down. So I'll see how much that was, but the bunch just came in. It doesn't look all that bad, so we'll see.
Okay. Lake, Trustee Tozak.
Yes, the Lake Committee took under consideration the concerns of the citizens, and we met with Limnology Information and Freshwater Ecology. I have passed along to the members of the board a letter of an estimate for some work to be done. We do believe we would like to treat in the coming year, because it's too late to do anything now, the lake for lake weeds, to not cut them but kill them and get rid of them. So we did have that meeting with the mayor, myself, and Trustee Ruffin. So hopefully we'll be proceeding on that. Okay, as well as getting additional estimates.
I'm going to talk about safety quickly. There's a whole lot going on about safety, but just touch on a couple things. Last evening, I met with Trustee Nicholas and the mayor upstairs, and we looked at the layout of the second floor where I am. We need to do some work there to make it safe and secure. We talked about putting up a wall. We talked about putting a door in the wall that would be adjacent to the mayor's office that would take in a spare room plus the whole back area. The mayor's office and my office would be up front. The lunchroom would be up front. And to do that, and I met with the folks there this morning, and I said, we really need to take that large area and break it up into different little cubicles. Now, there's a company that the commissioner used to do his stuff at the police station, They're located over by BJ's, and what they have is recycled panels that they clean. They got them out of a corporate business somewhere. And I think we can get 3 there, but that company will come out. They'll measure it, and they will make a recommendation based on their experience. And I like that. So I think I can get 3 there. And of course, the treasurer has to stay in the office she's in because it has to be locked up. Okay. So I'm going to get pricing on these panels by the next meeting. And meet with them and see what they recommend and get a floor plan that we can look at and make sure that's workable. I happen to like this particular design with the windows on top. That way you don't feel like you're in a box. I have some that are kind of claustrophobic and you don't want to sit in a box, but with the windows, you still have some privacy, it's quiet, but you can still see what's going on. So I would like to go with that style. The other quickly issue I'm working on is a company, Quest Diagnostics, that did our drug testing for us, that's no longer doing it. And there are 2 companies in the area, a village of Watford and the town of Watford, that are doing it. And I met with both of them. And I'm going to select this company, Partners in Safety, who, by the way, are located in the same building as our village attorney, right down on Route 9. So their price is $49 per test, and the cost of the other company was $65. The other company is out in Hopewell, and I really don't want to send our guys that far for a test.
What was our old price?
They were right up there in Health West.
What was our old price though? Do you know?
Lori said it was 35. So, you know, if we get them all once a year, it's $400 for the year. It's not a whole lot. And the way it works is I'm the only one that they contact. I get the names, I call the highway superintendent, send your 2 guys down there to get tested. He does it, they come back, I get the test, and it's totally confidential. I want to fill out the paperwork to hire this company tomorrow, but we don't have one. We have 2 more tests that have to be done the next quarter, and they'll do that. And then we'll do a new contract for the following year. I just wanted to update you on that. Okay?
All right.
Thank you. Who's next?
Recreation.
If I may digress for a moment, back to Lake.
Yeah, sure.
William Saywall is a local resident who's interested in joining the committee.
Welcome aboard, William Saywell.
Bill Saywall, yep. Okay. Recreation. We did have, as the mayor noted, the 9/11 ceremony. On September 23rd, we're having a health and wellness event in Mizzier Park. Hope all to come and be healthy and well. We are also working towards the Halloween event, which will be coming in October. And I will also be like to request of the board to allocate $2,500 to be moved into the rec line so we can purchase chairs and tables for the boathouse. I'm not sure if I need to make a motion for that at this point. We'll get the estimates per the purchasing policy, but we believe that will give us enough to have activities there.
Correct. So we're looking at 150 chairs and 10 tables, correct?
Correct.
All right. Is there a second to
How much?
$2,500.
New?
Well, they're fairly used.
Okay. All right.
A business is going out of business, and they're selling off some of their stock, and I think it's
That was awful cheap for what you just said.
I think it's a perfect opportunity to.
Yeah.
We have a second from Trustee Smith.
Hold on one second. There's you're looking to purchase
I'm looking-
chairs from, we don't know what line it's coming from. You talked about transferring funds for that line.
We're asking to increase the budget of recreation by $2,500 for the specific intent of purchasing 150 chairs and 10 tables.
That is not, it's my recommendation to this board that you do not proceed on that. You're purchasing from a line. I don't know that the money's in the line or not. There's a secondary motion to transfer money into a line. So you'd be authorizing a contract without a line. I don't know. This is the first I'm hearing about it. So it's very hard to discuss it without knowing anything about it. So all I hear is I want to spend $2,500 for chairs that we found for sale somewhere that. But we don't know what budget line it's coming out of. We don't know
The
where.
chairs would be.
So we could talk, we could, if we can get an authorization to spend $2,500 on tables and chairs, and in talking with the finance committee and Lori to see where we can get this money from.
Correct, and you could do a formal resolution approving something. If that's, there would be. I'd have to double check your procurement policy. I mean, you just can't say, oh, I want to buy this and I want to buy it tomorrow, and then you go in and you buy it without having any authorization.
Well, we could take it out of rec fees. We could take it out of rec fees.
But he's talking about moving money from a different line. So I
why
can't really advise the board on that. Because I don't know what's in the line or not.
Why don't I get together with Lori tomorrow and we'll discuss the line it'll come from, and then we'll bring it back to the board and we'll move the money appropriately to where it needs to go for you to purchase that.
Correct.
Is this something that has to be purchased or you're gonna lose them?
I mean, I don't know. This was brought to us last month, at the end of the month, and.
Is it possible to take it out of Parks line?
If we have the money, we could do that.
You still have to get it moved properly. You still have to make the motion.
If Parks has money in the line, can Parks purchase it, and then we replace the money once we determine where we can take it?
I doubt very highly that Parks has a chairs and tables line right now.
Correct.
So we have to, why don't you just give us a day? Let me go back to Lori. We will figure out a solution, and we will just get it through the proper way.
John, if it's a buy it at a certain time or you're gonna lose it, I'll put the money up and we'll worry about it.
I will reach out to the seller tomorrow and find out what the status is.
We'll have her put
I think
10 tables.
I think we can ask this person to put this stuff aside for us as a favor.
Yeah. All right, let's do that.
All right. Water.
All right, Mike, I got a few things before you go.
Okay.
So the water department is, I forgot the number. Thank God John's here tonight. They're looking to buy a new truck. They have a truck that's, I don't know, it's really falling apart, as John would say. I want to say it was like,
It's putting it nicely.
like 38,000 or 40,000. 38, Walt. And they have that would come out of the water fund. I think I want to say it's. I can't think of the fund right now. We got a bunch of them.
So again, with that, why don't you bring that to the finance committee and bring it to Lori, and we will find, because each line is laid out for specific items. So bring that to us, and we will look to see where we can get it from. And if it's a car that's in disrepair and we have to take it off the road, then we will find the money, allocate the money, and move it to the proper spot. But we can't just vote on it now to.
Well, I'm just making you aware of what they're looking to do.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay. So just contact. I'll be there tomorrow with Lori going over other stuff. So just give us a call tomorrow.
What's that?
I just asked John if it's with a dealer, so.
Yeah, well, it would be New York State bid.
Yeah, off of New York State bid. Yep.
It would definitely be through a dealer.
So we could finance it, and we could pay that out of the day-to-day expenses since it's for day-to-day work. I would think.
And they're also looking for a new hire for The plant?
For plant / distribution system.
Yep.
Yes, absolutely. There are ads, John Carr said.
I've been running ads in Indeed for 2 weeks. I got over 113 for a laborer. Only a few that really showed that they had water experience. And I've given them all to your highway superintendent.
So let's take a look at those and see what we got on that one. And we want to, and for Attorney Linders, a follow-up on the water tank lease. So the water board last night has made a decision to shut the power off to the tank. It was supposed to be done today because there's the only electrics up there is for the siren, and the siren don't work. So we were told we told to shut the power off today, disconnect the service to that tank. But we want to know about the cameras and how they're going to come down and when they're going to come down.
We can discuss that. There is a lease which is technically valid at this point and has provisions in it. We can discuss that. We'd have to abide by the terms of the lease, and we can discuss how we can proceed on that. Sure.
Yeah, so they're looking to do it more now than in the future. They're looking to get that out of the way. So,
well, if somebody can just let me know what's because I just heard right now.
I'll give you a call tomorrow.
All right, perfect.
I'll give you a call tomorrow.
Perfect.
Well, tomorrow afternoon. And also, just so the board's aware, I want to talk about an executive session, but I want to get permission to call Craig Wallace to talk to Jim Horan for some contracting thing, maybe possibility. And I will let you know in executive session what it's about. So, just so you're aware. John?
Speaking of Jim Horan, just to remind you, as the mayor, that we should look into our agreement with the town of Poughkeepsie Water.
Yeah, yep.
So we should see and double check while we're at it.
Yep.
Hey Jim, you happen to know the dates?
I just saw him yesterday. I saw him yesterday in the town, so we talked just a bit about it. But other than that, Trustee Smith.
I just want to say thanks to John Kozak that going over and above and making sure that we can actually say now South Mizzier and Prospect Water Project is done. They're all hooked up to the new, to the main, and the 2-inch pipe that's been leaking for how many years, Mayor?
I want to say at least
it is now shut off.
That I know of.
3 years.
Is now shut off, so hopefully we get more water in the tank.
Okay. Personnel, Trustee Nesnick.
Nothing on personnel right now.
Mayor, you have anything on the sewer?
That would be Trustee Nesnick.
Tri-Muni?
No, just working with you, John, to collect some information that we need to put a report together for I&I. Other than that, we're good.
Okay. Sir, I'm sorry, your engineers didn't show up, so I have to reschedule.
So is that, how many times a month is that then?
Our next meeting's the 27th.
Okay.
I'll put it on for the 27th.
Okay, perfect. Thanks very much.
Okay.
Thank you.
Never hurts to bring pie.
All right, does anybody from the board have anything?
I'm guessing it's got pizza that guy.
No?
Does anybody, who's Jim Horan?
I have one thing.
With Wallace and Wallace.
We need to hire somebody for upstairs to help out Heather. It's pretty bad up there. Just the bills keep coming in, and I was informed by the taxes today where they gotta, if they didn't pay by a certain time, they gotta adjust the rate for the taxes, and she needs help upstairs. We need to put an ad in the paper for a part-timer. If this board would agree upon it.
I agree, and I'd also like to know when and how Lisa became a permanent hire without us
Let's do one
knowing.
first. Let's knock it off. It's a tough subject here. Like, we get up the subject.
It's all the same subject, it's upstairs.
Yeah, but I'm looking to put an ad in the paper. That's what I'm looking to do right now. We could talk about that, but I'm looking to put an ad.
Well, we should actually talk about it in a personnel committee. So we should get together. We should talk about it with the personnel committee, and then we bring it back to the board. That's how we should do that.
If I may, I will simply say, right now, we have one person upstairs. If she gets sick, we're gonna be in a world of hurt. We went through this last year with the treasurer. We need backup. We need somebody else up there.
Correct.
So whether that comes through personnel, executive session, here, we do need to do something about this.
So I think, why don't we will call a meeting for the personnel committee to meet, and we will address the issue.
All right.
Can we get a personnel meeting before our next meeting?
Sure.
Okay, thank you.
That concludes the printed section of
But
the,
Jeff has something, so.
No, that was it.
Well,
She said it with the personnel and report back to the board.
where's Alice?
At a birthday party.
Okay. And I have a motion to go into executive session.
I'll make that motion.
Can I have a second?
I'll second it.
Just let you know we were seeking legal advice from the village attorney.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Carried.